So one thing that I wanted to talk to you all about today, something that I was thinking a lot about over the weekend, was our small and simple habits that we have every day. And I want you to think about the habits that you have, and are your habits helping you or serving you? Are they helping you become and do the things that you want to do? I was talking about this with my kids because we're trying to establish, with the new school year, we're trying to establish some new routines, help them have more responsibility, and so we're really working on habits and routines. And it made me think about my own habits and routines and the things that I'm trying to accomplish and the goals that I have set for myself. When I think of the goal as a whole, and I think of this big goal that I want to achieve, sometimes it can feel overwhelming to think, how in the world am I going to achieve this big goal of mine? And when I think of it as a whole, it's really hard to be motivated to do the things that I need to do because it does feel a little overwhelming. But what I found to be really helpful and to give me the success and in achieving that goal is the small and simple habits that need to happen on a daily or weekly or whatever the goal is, on that consistent basis to help me achieve that goal. So I was thinking about my own goals and things that I want to, some content I want to create for the Pronunciation Pro program, some things that I want to do for work, some things that I want to do just personally. I'm really big about taking pictures of my family and doing videos. And I have this big goal of being able to put those in photo books and create videos and things for my family. And it seems very overwhelming when I think of it as a whole, because I have thousands, you probably like you, I have thousands and thousands of pictures of life and kids and everything that we're doing. And it seems quite overwhelming when I think of it all at once. But what I thought about this weekend is thinking, okay, what small habit can I put in place consistently that will over time help me get to my goal? And so I decided I'm going to set aside an hour or two on Sundays to work on organizing my photos and videos. I asked my husband to kind of help me in that habit, so he can help with kids and things while I'm working on that project. And I kind of set up a specific time that I can work on that project. And this is just a fun, a little example, but set aside some time so that I can dedicate it to that goal. And once I did, it was interesting because that feeling of overwhelm came down quite a bit. I had a plan. I knew that I could commit to this hour or two a week of sitting down and working on it. I went ahead and did it this Sunday, and I sat down and I worked on it. And it was interesting because I worked for an hour on it, and then there was more I could have done to continue to work on it, but I decided to stop at that point and say, I did my hour, I fulfilled my commitment, and now I'm going to move on with other things and not extend it too long. And I'm going to make sure that I do that again next week, because I don't want it to make it feel overwhelming the first time I do it. And so I set it aside, and it felt really good because I was taking steps towards that bigger goal. Now, it really made me think about all of you and the goals that you are working to achieve. And I want to encourage you to think about, especially your work here at Pronunciation Pro, improving your communication skills. I want you to think of it not as, this overwhelming, huge goal of being clear, feeling confident, learning all of the things that need to be learned in improving your communication skills in English. But I want you to think of it as what are the small and simple habits and routines that I can put in place now that I can commit to and follow through with consistently that will, over time, get me to my goal, okay? So I want you to really think about that. Are you setting aside time every week, a consistent time every week to work on your pronunciation skills, to work through the videos and the worksheets and the MP3s and do your daily practice? Are you setting aside, you know, every week there's probably maybe an hour of actually video work and things that you need to go through, but then 15, 20 minutes a day of practice with your worksheets, with the things that you need to be working on. Are you setting aside that time and committing to it and following through with that time as consistently as possible to be able to get to that greater goal? If that needs to be adjusted, so that's fine. You can go at your own pace. So it doesn't have to be what I just described. It can be, you can lengthen it out. You can say, well, I'm going to take 2 weeks for this module. You can say, I have 5 days a week to practice, but I'm going to take the weekends off. Or during the week, it's a little bit crazy, so maybe I'll do 10, 15 minutes during the week. And then on the weekend, maybe spend more like 20 to 30 minutes on Saturday and Sunday. You know, whatever works for you and your schedule, I highly encourage you to just think through your schedule, put it on your calendar, and commit to yourself to follow through with that as much as possible. Now, we're all imperfect. We never, you know, none of us can really do it exactly the way we planned every time. But when you begin with that end in mind, when you are proactive in deciding what you're, you know, the goals that you want and how you're going to achieve them, and those small and simple steps to get you there, it's amazing to see what can be accomplished over time. Okay, so I really encourage you to think about that, to make sure that you're setting aside specific time for your study, and prioritizing that. And sometimes it's not the biggest priority. I recognize that if there are things that come up with family that I need to address on Sunday, my you know, hour slot of working on photos and videos for my family is not as important as the things that my family needs at that time. But the more that I can stay consistent with that, the more I'm going to accomplish that goal. Okay, so just a little thought for you this Tuesday morning.